Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of Titanic case study with skills for chasers. In this part, we are going to create this view where we would like to understand how many children died and survived, how many male died and survived, same thing for females, and we are going to show the output in the form of percentages as well. So let's jump back to the tableau and let's start working on that. So if I take a look on the Titanic data, where we have the information regarding all the travelers. So if I go to the data source, see, in this data set, we have the information regarding the gender, right? So we can understand who is a male and who is a female. The challenge that we have is we can't identify whether a person is a child or an adult. So for that, what we can do is we can take the help of the age column. And what I can do is I can add a calculated field where I will say if the age is less than equal to 18, we will consider that particular traveler as a child and other as an adult. So let's right click on the age field and we will say create a calculated field. Let's name this field as child or adult. And we will simply write a if condition. If age is less than equal to 18, then we are considering that as a child, else adult. Now, in this data set, we also have some data points where the values are missing. So we are not treating those missing values as of now because, Tableau as a tool, we use it more for descriptive analytics. So we will leave the data as it is. Now we have to put the end statement over here. So where the if condition ends, and let's click on apply and OK. So here we can see our child or adult field has been added. Let me add a new sheet. And over here, I will simply bring my field over here. What I'll simply do is I have to create a chart to understand how many child died or survived. So in this case, what I'll do is I'm going to bring my field of survival status. And if I can take the help of count field, right? Count is an automatic field that gets generated, which helps you in generating the count of the data points. If I drag that count over here in the rows, I can see how many people died and survived. Now, I just have to showcase this data only for the child. So can I put child or adult in the filters? And I'll filter out child over here in this. And there you see my chart has been created where I can see number of child died and survived. Now we will click over here on show me option and we will change this into a pie chart. And let's click on this view option and make it entire view. And I will bring the count field on the label as well. So here I can see how many child died and survived. So we have a color coding. Died is blue color is for died and orange color is for survived. Let's put the title as child and I'll keep it center aligned. Let's make it bold, apply and OK. Now in the second chart, what we have to do is we have to showcase how many male died and survived. So what can I do? If I right click on the sheet 4 and I make a duplicate of that, so I get the same chart. If I remove this filter of child or adult, that gives me the count on the basis of overall data. So I can pick the field of sex over here and put it in this, and I'll choose male in this. And if I click on apply and OK, so here I can see I get the percentage for how many male died and survived. And let's update the title as well as male. Now again, I'm going to make a duplicate of this. And in this, I will change my filter. I will right click on the filter, edit filter, and change my filter option to female. So now the same chart gets changed for female over here. So now I can see how many female died and survived. Now, if you take a look on the view right now, so over here, what we also have to do is we have to showcase the percentages, right? Like what percentage of male or child died or survived. So those percentages have to be shown. So first of all, I have to calculate that thing for the child. So we will just calculate the child percentage, which is 50.36%. So how do we do that? See, I'll bring survival status into the rows. And then what I'll do is I'll bring my child or adult into the columns, right? So we'll have to make a kind of a cross tab over here. I'm going to pick the count field and put it in the center. See, you will see a box will come up. So here I can see the count of adult and child died and survived. Now, because we have to showcase the output in the form of a number, so what will I do? I will take the help of table calculation. Now, table calculation is where we can do the calculations on the fly, right? So what I'll do is I'll right click on this count field and I will choose the option of quick table calculation. Now, since I have to calculate overall percentage of child who survived, right? So I will use percent of total. Now, when I click on percent of total, you will see how that calculation right now is happening. It is happening row wise. So died for adult, 87% of the adult died and 12% of the child survived. 12% of the child who died. So that calculation is happening row wise. But I don't want that row wise. I want to calculate that for each category. For child and adult, I want to calculate it separately. So what can I do in this case is, I will right click on this count field and I will say compute using table down. So now what happened is this number is going to, you see, it comes up 49% of the children died and 50.36% of the children survived. Now this is the number that I actually have to show in my report. So what I'll do right now is I'll simply right click on the died and I will say hide it. I will right click on the adult and I will say hide it. So that way what has happened is the information that I don't need, I have hidden it. So guys, please be aware, don't use exclude. Exclude is going to change the percentages. That's like going to apply a filter for you. In case you want to see that data back, you feel like you want to see that data, right click on that field and you can just over here, you can say show hidden data. The data can be brought back, right? But right now again, I'll hide it again. Now, if you see, I don't even need the headers over here, right? These child survived. I don't need those headers. So if I right click on these field names, I will uncheck the option of show header. Again, I'll do it over here as well. I will say uncheck show header. And you see, I am left behind with one single number. We will click on this view option to make it entire view. Now the number is coming in one corner. I'll right click, format. And what I'll do right now is, first of all, I'll increase the font size. Let's make it around a size of 28. Let's make it bold. Now I have to work on the alignment of this, where what I'll do is I'll keep the alignment left side and top, right? So the number is coming on the top left. What I still see is there are some lines that are coming over here. You see line there is above and there's a line which is below. If you want to get rid of these lines, these are basically the row dividers that we have. So for that, you have to come into the border pane and I will make row divider as none. And you see the lines are gone. So here you see my percentage of children have been calculated. Now the same steps have to be applied for the percentage of male and female. So if I add a new sheet, now this time what I'll do is I'm going to bring my survival status into the rows. I'll bring my sex field into the columns and I'll bring my count field over here in this. So now I will bring count field over here in this. So I can see the count of people. Now, because the similar kind of thing would be done, for creating the male and female, to save the time again, we'll make a duplicate of the sheets. So I'll just right click and duplicate it. Now on the sheet 8, first of all, I have to right click again on this field and I will apply a quick table calculation of percent of total, right? Now again, this has to happen column wise, right click, compute using table down. So I can see the percentage of male and female have been calculated. Now for this percentage, right, this is for the male percentage. So I don't need the female, I can hide it. I don't need the percentage of I don't need the date of died. So again, I'll right click and hide it. And I will say right click, uncheck, show header, right click, uncheck, show header. See, I'm left with this number. I'll make this as entire view. Now again, a time saving step over here, guys. See, if I want to apply the same formatting that I have on the sheet 7 to the sheet 8 as well, see, right click on the sheet 7, you will get an option of copy formatting. Go to the sheet 8, right click, paste formatting. Yep. So you can see in one single click, I'm able to bring both the sheets on the same scale now. Similarly, I'll go to the next sheet. So now after applying the table calculation, what we will do is, again, we will go back over here. I will say right click, compute using table down. So my percentages are calculated for the female now. We will right click on the male. I don't need that data, so I will hide it. I don't need the date of died. I will right click on that and I will hide it. I don't need the headers. Uncheck show header, uncheck show header. Now what we will do is go to the previous sheet, copy the formatting, go to the same sheet, right click and say paste formatting, and you can see the number has come into the same percentage. For better understanding, let's keep the title as female percentage. And on the previous one, we can call it as male percentage. And we can also do one thing. If you want, you can give the sheet names according to that, right? Like over here, we have given it as child percentage. So that is just for our own understanding. And over here, we have done the calculation for female and one was for male. So in the female one, please update the title. That is female. And let's call it as female pie chart. And this one is my male pie chart. And here we have the child pie chart. So now if we see over here, all the charts that I need for the view, they are all set. So what will be the next step? I'll click on the dashboard view. A new dashboard is added. Now see over here, to simplify the things, we will take the help of containers, right? So because we have to arrange all the charts, so containers are going to make our life a bit easy in that case. I'll pick my horizontal container, drag it on the sheet, and let's keep the dashboard in the automatic view. Now over here, I'm going to bring my chart of child, drag it inside the container, right? So I can see that number now. I'll pick male. Now when you bring it inside the container, make sure you see when you drag it in the container, a container blue outline is highlighted and gray color area is inside that container on the right hand side. I'll leave it over here. Then I'll bring the female chart, same pattern on the right side over here. So container is selected and now leave it. So all the three charts are nicely adjusted over here. Now I'll bring another container, which is going to be a horizontal container, and I'll keep it below like this, right? So all the charts move up. So for the above charts, we'll go in the layout. I'll apply the borders quickly. So here's the border, here's the border, here's the border. Now in the below one, I'll go to the dashboard. Now I will start dragging my child percentage. Here I get this. Then we have to drag the male and female percentage, which is in the next sheet. So I'll put it on the right side again. See, I get my male percentage. I'll drag my female percentage. So there I see all my percentages are dragged. I don't need the headers in this, right? I will right click and hide the title. Right click and hide the title. And right click, hide the title. I'll click on the first chart and I will say, okay, let me select the container. And let's say distribute contents evenly. So they're evenly spread. Again, I am going to apply the borders around them. So here I apply the borders to this. I'll apply the border to this. And the third one. Now what I need to do is, if you see this legend over here is something which is coming on the extreme right side, which is common for all the three charts. So if I click on this little arrow of this legend, I'll make it floating. So if you make something as floating, that means you can move it anywhere you want. So let's keep it over here like this, and we can reduce the height to adjust it. Let's increase the width a little more. So there you see it. Okay. Now, in the below 3 percentages that we have, I would also like to add some images, right? So just to add a little more interactiveness. Plus, if you see this count field is not required, that is just coming because of the pie chart. So I can get rid of this as well. So now I have to bring some images to make this dashboard look a bit more interesting. So I'll click over here. So click on image, and we are going to choose that image now. So I have some logos which you can also download from the internet, some small logos of child. I'll click on open, and I will say apply and OK. Now, when you bring this image, all of you, please make it floating. So we can adjust it wherever we want. So like this, it comes over here. Now I'll bring another image, double click on the image. We will choose the image of the male. I'll click on open, and I'll say apply and OK. And again, we are going to make it floating, and we can arrange it near to this report over here. Now again, we click on image, and the last image over here, which will be for the females now. So I pick the female image, click on open, apply and OK. Now I will make this as floating again, and I'll resize it, place it over here. That's it. If you want to place some text boxes as well, we can do that also. So I'll click over here from the objects. Again, we will pick the option of text box, and we can write child, make it a bit bold, bigger in size. Let's keep the size around 24 and OK. So this child is something which has come at the top. I'll make it floating. And we know because of that, a container has been added. So I'll just click on that container and I'll remove it. So let's keep the color as black. Double click, change the color to black. So there you see it. So that's how, if you want to put some text boxes, you can easily put that up over here. And if you want to write something else, you want to write as survived, we can write that as well. So this is where I can write my message. And if you want, you can also make a copy of this. If you just say Control C, Control V, you get a copy of the same. And this I can place it over here. I can make a Control C and Control V. This I can keep it over here. And if you want to add some background shading to the pie charts, so how do we do it? Right click on the pie chart. I can say format, come to the option of shading. So this is where you will see the option of shading. And from here, what we can do is we can choose some colors which we like to put in the background. Same applies over here as well. And same applies over here as well. So that's how, if you see, the colors have been added just to have a background color, right? So this is where, if you all see, our third view has been created. So I hope you all would have enjoyed it. Now, just to, just arrange this W file, please right click on the dashboard 3 and you can say hide all sheets. So, your space will not be cluttered. You can right click on the dashboard 2 and you can say hide all sheets. Dashboard 1, hide all sheets. So our 3 views are ready. So hope you all enjoyed this session, everyone. So stay tuned for the part 3 where we will be closing this case study, and please do like and subscribe for regular updates of our channel. Thank you, everyone.